Welcome to The Other Side of the Bridge with Iron City Paranormal, where they discuss real investigations, first-hand experiences, unexplained moments, and everything that happens when you step off the regular path and onto the other side of the bridge. Just honest paranormal talk, Iron City Paranormal style. And now, here are your hosts, Derek Smith and Dan Metelsky.
Hey yins guys, welcome back to The Other Side of the Bridge, episode 17. Welcome to episode 17.
We're getting up there.
We're old now. We
almost
can drive.
legal.
We're almost legal, but our episode can drive. Our show can drive, so that's always exciting. Guys, welcome back to The Other Side of the Bridge. Tonight, we are talking about something that pains us when it happens. We are entitling this show "The Evidence That Got Away." It is the harsh reality that is paranormal investigation for idiots. Really.
Wow.
But more than that, it is real life paranormal investigation. It's not what they show you on TV.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely not. That's right.
And also, may I add, one of the reasons why the tools that we use has just magnified, has just quadrupled. We just, every time we go somewhere, we just need to get that one more thing to be able to catch this one more thing over here.
Always something else.
Just didn't have enough stuff to cover.
I love when ghost hunting equipment goes on sale on Amazon. And then we just buy 8 or 9 more cat balls or another voice recorder.
More K2 meters. Keep going.
Another trail cam. If we just had another trail cam to set up, like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's always the go-to. Oh, I see one for sale. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's like a fish story, right? Like it's always the one that got away. It's the one we didn't catch.
Yes.
And like I say, the reason this is so interesting of an episode to me is that it is the cold reality of paranormal investigation and something that we started many years ago when we started doing this. We put way too much behind the technology, right? And we felt that it was a hard win or a hard loss every time we missed something. But now we kind of don't give a crap, right? Because we're just enjoying ourselves.
It's about the experience at the end of the day, right? I mean, that's what we get out of it. That's our takeaway from it. It's awesome and incredible if we get it on, recording or camera or something. But at the same time, if we just are there and it happens, as much as it just becomes another ghost story, it did happen to us. So that's, we'll take it.
And when we catch stuff, it's great to show people because I feel less like we are. I don't ever want to say we make things up, but I feel like sometimes if we don't catch it, I feel like I'm coming across like I'm making it up when I tell people. I don't know if do you guys feel that way? I mean, that's something that I struggle with at times.
I feel like we put so much stock in being able to show evidence and show proof that whenever the only thing that we have is our experience and we don't have anything to back it up, it seems somehow less credible because we have the evidence to back it up in so many other ways, right? Or like afterwards, if we're reviewing evidence, then that's whenever things come through. But like we have this experience here and then we don't have the evidence to back it up. Does it feel as real?
So, I mean, honestly, for me, just doing this as long as we have, if I tell somebody this story and they don't believe me, that's what it is. I don't care. My biggest thing is if it happens to me and I'm in a different room than you guys, I'm almost hesitant to tell you that it happened because I'm like, not that you're not going to believe me, but it's like, I don't have it to show you or to listen to,
Exactly. Yeah.
To me, it's more of like, it's more the credibility of the team than it is anything. And I kind of get that feeling sometimes. And it's happened before, where I know it's happened. Can we really document it or talk about it? Sure. Yeah. Do we have anything to back it up? No.
See, and part of me, when people come up to us at like conventions and different things, they all have a ghost story, right? And
Absolutely.
we ourselves are like that too, right? We always have ghost stories to tell. But early on, when we first got into it, I was like, we're cool, like we're doing it. You know, these people that are coming up to us, like they don't know what it's like they haven't experienced it, right? And like I would catch myself thinking to myself, like, oh, here's another one where the guests, let me guess, they look in the room and there's no one there, right? And it's like all those ghost stories. And I became very jaded even on like professional ghost walks, like where they tell you ghost stories. It's like they all end the same. Oh, I turned around and there was nobody there, or I heard the noise in the basement and I went downstairs and there was nobody there. But the longer that we kind of experience these things ourselves, where we don't have something to show, I can honestly say that I value people's stories a lot more, because like I believe them more, because before I was like, you're just blowing smoke. Right?
Sure.
I believe more.
Yeah, and I mean that's the other side of it too. You don't know the people that are coming up to you, but they, knowing what we do, feel comfortable enough telling us these stories because we are open to it. And like you said, I mean, it does kind of grow on you at first. Yeah, it's like, yeah, what's this guy talking about? We have it on camera, we have it on recording. These people don't, so it's not real. But so many times, I mean, even though like there's so many stories that you and I can tell, Dan, but even Aaron, you experienced that at the Ross house, you know, with the doll moving and everything. So
Yeah.
it's not like it's fairly common that things like that happen. So it's who's to say that they're not, you know, that they didn't experience something and they're not prepared for it. So why would they have something to back it up?
Yeah.
But what is it about these dolls?
Oh man,
so we have two things that we're going to talk about tonight that had to do with dolls moving seemingly on their own. And these pictures that I put up here, the top picture is, what's her name?
Oh man, come on, don't quiz me on this. I don't remember now.
Oh gosh.
Okay, well, it's this scary one-legged. Let's call her Peg for right now until we find out. Peggy, is it Peggy?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, there was a Peggy in the Ross house, but I can't remember if that was her name or what. But this doll, the top picture is so. A lot of places have
video walkthrough, right? That top picture.
It was, yeah. We didn't take a picture of her because we really didn't think anything was going to happen. So this doll is typically stored in a display case in the Ross house in the living room when you first walk in on the left-hand side. And according to the owner, there is a spirit attached to the doll. And she said when we first arrived, she told us that if we wanted to take her out of the case, we were more than welcome to. That, you know, previous teams had experiences where they would take her out before the investigation, and then during the investigation, more things would happen. Did you find the name?
You were right. It's Peggy.
Peggy. It's Peggy.
You're spot on.
So we, of course, took her out and we put her on the couch on the right-hand side of the couch. And Aaron, the thing that I remember about the position of this doll the most is the feeling that I got and you got when we walked out of this room. If you remember, there was just like a presence right before we went upstairs. About halfway through the night, it just felt like a heaviness when we walked through the doorway. At least it did for me. I don't remember if you felt that or not, but I know I felt it.
Yeah.
Where I felt just very, for lack of a better term, watched as I left the room.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until later in the night that we noticed, while we were packing up, we went to put Peggy back in her case. And that's when we realized she had moved.
And I believe that you shrieked, Dan, when you saw that.
I did. It scared the bejesus out of me.
But yeah, we didn't have a camera or anything on it because we weren't anticipating anything happening in that room. Even when we were going around, I don't think we actively investigated in that room for a little bit, but not long.
Yeah.
And even so, we didn't leave anything there, you know? So like you were saying, that was the only image that we had from our walkthrough video, you know, because we weren't focused on it. and the only things you were sensing, you felt that there was something there. You were unsettled by
Mhm.
it, and that was it. Like that, so we kind of moved on. We didn't leave any more focus on it. And
Yeah.
that was all the way until the end of the night. So when did it happen? From the beginning to the end? We don't know, but it happened. I can tell you
Yeah.
the owner, Cindy, was not there. It was just the
Mhm.
three of us. And
Mhm.
I would put money on none of us doing something like that. So
Oh, I wasn't touching that thing.
yeah, nobody
No,
wanted to touch
thank
that.
you.
I mean, I don't think we touched it unless the three of us were right there together to move
Well-
it out of the case.
We honestly, we put her down on the couch and then we forgot about her. Like, I
Right.
don't even know that. Like, I remember, so I left early this night because I was driving by myself. And so it's just the two of you guys getting ready to clean up. And then as I'm driving, I just get a flurry of text messages about this doll having moved. And like, you guys trying to figure out if I had moved it before I left,
Mhm.
knowing that the owner left before we even really started the investigation,
Mhm.
right? Like she packed up
Right.
and left before we even got started. And so, yeah, I'm not, she definitely had a presence about her. I didn't want to go near her.
I'll tell you what, though, there is something about those dolls. I
There's
mean,
something about those dolls.
it's not the first time that's happened to us either. And that's the
There's-
creepy part.
They're so innocent, and then they move, and that's the unsettling part
Uh-huh.
about it. Is that like we'll talk about the other doll in a little bit here, but like there's just something about a doll moving on its own. Besides the fact that it's an inanimate object, right? It's always the extra
the
creepy
creepy
factor
doll.
that it's the doll. Like it's actually a pretty doll,
Sure.
but
Yeah,
just
it's not our tools that moved.
No.
It's nothing else in the house that moved outside of the picture on the second floor. I don't know if you remember that. The little boy was pushed over too.
yes,
But outside, I mean, those things, like that was the only other thing that had happened,
Yeah.
physically speaking. But yeah, it wasn't our tools that moved. It was this doll, and it didn't move just a little bit. It moved from one side of the couch to the other. How does that happen?
well, and it's so intentional, right? Because
Right.
like it's leaning up against the couch.
Yeah.
And it's in the same
It's a very similar position.
kind of position
Yeah.
as the original one, or like when we had where we had left her, but it just on the opposite side of the couch. It's
Right.
so bizarre. It's almost like a time loop, or like in another dimension we put it on the other side of the
Right.
couch to
Yeah.
start.
Yeah.
Like it's so eerie the way
Now
that
we're
it
talking
all
about
transpired.
universes and portals. Wait,
Oh
this
my
was the place
gosh.
with the portal, right?
This
It
was
was
the
the place
place
with
with the portal.
Mhm.
Maybe we stepped through.
Oh God, maybe.
We reached
What
the
happened when we
portal suck
went
off
over that
point.
boundary? No.
we
Suck
broached
off point.
we broached the portal suck off point, and then it transported us into the dimension where she was on the other side of the couch. Okay, so let's just get into this one because now this is what we're talking about, right? This is the other doll
Yep.
that we had experience with. Erin, unfortunately, you weren't at this investigation, but
Fortunately, I wasn't at that. I wouldn't go
Not-
anywhere near those dolls.
Not yet. I mean, as soon as we go to back to the Judson, you will be.
yeah, and
I
here-
get creeped up. I know that you guys are like want to have a doll collection or something going on, but like, no, thank you. The dolls freak me out. But maybe Derek's into the dolls. But like,
I got all that stuff out of my office, man. I'm not
Oh,
doing that
good.
anymore.
Smart,
that's
smart,
smart. I think
man.
that's
Smart
probably
man.
one of the smartest things I've ever heard you do, Derek. And like, I don't mean anything mean. by
That's the
that.
top of the
I
mountain.
just-
It's all downhill from here.
hey, I mean, I would be, if I was your wife, I would be very happy about that.
Yes. Oh
No,
my
so
God.
this doll, here we are again. Like we did not put any equipment on these dolls. They were now I say this looking at this picture, and I'm like choking back even saying it. They're very unassuming,
Sure.
right? But then when you
Absolutely.
really look at them, they're anything but. They're creepy.
You look at the faces, man.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't want my kid playing with that, like but so we're talking though about similar situations. This really was because again, we did not take pictures of this. The bed. We had to go back as we saw this doll on the other side of the bed. We
Mhm,
literally picked up our camera that we had filmed all of our walkthroughs on,
mhm.
and we looked back to make sure that it was in that position. And that top picture there, that was just from our walkthrough, our filmed video walkthrough.
Well, and
You
if
know,
you
it-
remember, this was one of the first places we ever did a filmed video
Yes.
walkthrough, and
Yep.
that's why we've done it.
That's why
every
we've
place
continued. That's
since,
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
because it came in handy, and we did not give these dolls, again, in hindsight, we should have, right? I mean, they look prime
Look at that
for
little one. Look at that
sitting
little
up,
one.
and I'm
Yeah.
imagining like
What,
spider
walking
crawling
to
to the
the other
bottom
side?
of the bed. Yeah, like
Right.
upside down spider crawl, like the girl
Exorcist.
in the extended cut Exorcist. Like that's
Right.
how I picture her, because she's on her back.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's completely upside down.
So it's not even like she was just pushed over, right?
And
I mean, you can see she moved a good
And
bit.
from what I recall, there was nothing associated with these dolls. No stories, no nothing that we were aware of. And I don't think the owner or the historical society was aware of it either.
Mm-hmm.
So they were kind of floored when we told them and showed them this, because she was actually there that night, if I remember correctly. Like, she stayed, and we had her come
I
up.
don't remember if she had or not. I think she might have.
Because I think we actually physically brought her up and showed her, like, what is going on here.
But the weirdest thing is the dress. She's not wearing that dress, if you remember.
Oh yeah, that's
that
right. It was on top
dress
of her.
is
That's right.
leaning
Oh,
against
really?
her.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
whatever moved her or whoever moved her was very matter of fact.
And placed the dress on top of her
They
again.
put
Yeah.
the dress back on top of her.
Yeah.
Like, she's not wearing that, Aaron. You can't really tell it.
I
You can
thought
see
she
in
was
that bottom
wearing-
right.
Bottom
No,
right,
you
you
can
can
see in
see
that
it.
bottom
I can
right,
see
yeah.
that it's not actually on her, but I just assumed that it was on her.
It was like on this, like almost like a little, wasn't it like a plastic or a wooden hanger or something?
It was
like
on. It was definitely on a hanger that kind of had it like looped around her neck a little bit to keep it there. But that was it. Like, it wasn't actually like she wasn't dressed in it. It was just sitting on top of her. So
It's
not only
just
the doll
so
moved,
bizarre.
but the dress was placed back on top of her in the exact same position that she was before.
Wow.
And
And it
there's
was-
zero explanation for that. I mean,
Well, but no, there was an explanation on our Ovilus when we were in the room.
oh yeah, somebody told us
when
that it was
this
happening.
moved. Yeah, someone said and this is when I hate that Ovilus. Whenever it puts the weird inflection in its voice, like
Surprise!
anytime it says
Johnny.
Johnny, it goes Johnny.
It's always
Well,
the same too.
That's right. And surprise, it goes surprise. Like, it's not just surprise, it's surprise. It's like somebody, you walked into a party and somebody greeted you, right? But like, it said that, and then we started walking around, like looking to see what this surprise was.
We were in a
And-
different room down the hallway, completely a different area than this. I mean, it was down the hall through probably 3 or 4 rooms that were in between us and this place. And I think that was the first time we had heard the Ovilus make that surprise inflection.
Yes.
So we
And
were
ever since
thrown
then,
off
I
by
haven't
that.
trusted it.
Yeah, right.
Ever since.
Well, yeah, we always know there's going to be a surprise now.
Oh my
God.
god! And we didn't, like I say, we just. And I was the one that found the doll. If you remember, I went down by myself, and you stayed in the room
Yeah,
at the
I
end
was
of the
staying there.
hallway. And then I got just bone chill,
Yes.
All I remember was you calling my name,
spine
like
tickling whenever
Derek,
I walked
you
in
need-
and I saw that thing.
you were like, you need to come here right now. Like,
Oh my god.
oh yeah, I mean, you think about it too, when you're in the moment like that, like, it's one thing looking at these
Mhm.
pictures and everything after the
Yeah.
fact. You're in the moment, man, your blood goes cold, you get goosebumps
Oh, yeah.
all over, like, there's
Oh
something
my
wrong
gosh, it's
here.
awful. It's awful. But why is it always me that finds them? Because I'm like the last person that wants to find them.
Maybe they
You
know
know?
that.
Right?
Well,
They're
and that's
feeding off
something-
your fear.
And that's something that I want to talk about, or that we want to talk about in this episode, is like, do the spirits know, right? Because there's like weaknesses within the team at times. Like, if we take people in, we always have to be careful with people that are afraid, because our belief is that those are the ones that they're gonna, for lack of a better term, latch on to.
Or pursue or whatever, because
Or-
we don't
yeah,
know.
pursue, go home with, whatever, right?
Yeah, and you think about it, the three of us, we kind of know each other's weaknesses to an extent, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we can kind of either pull out or prevent them or protect against it. But
That's
when
true.
there's other people that we don't know, we have no idea what they're bringing into it,
Yeah.
So, you toss a bat, they'll know. Bats are there. That's my weakness right there.
Yes.
I will always laugh whenever there's bats around, and that's like the one place I want to spend the most time because I love hearing you squeal.
Oh,
like
now
a
my
girl or
daughters
whatever.
know it too, so they're like, "Daddy, bat." I'm like, "No."
I love that they're learning so quickly.
Right.
That's phenomenal.
I'm an open book. Come on. But so we're talking about some of these things with pictures too, right? Like they're not all like that. We kind of got lucky with these few things that were anomalies to that extent. But there have been times where we just straight up experience things with zero documentation. Like we at least have something with these, like a before and after picture, right?
Yeah.
But there's so many times where things will just happen, and all you have, like we were talking about before, you have your word, and that's it. I think Aaron, you had made a good call with the Irish Townsend house. I'm not usually the one to experience things like I did then, where there was rumored to be cigar smoke coming out of the front porch where one of the old owners used to just pace and smoke his pipe. You guys went to get food. I stayed behind, and I was just kind of walking around, and all of a sudden I start smelling this cigar smoke. I'm like, all right, who's out here? Is there somebody else around? Because we were friendly with the neighbors. They did come out. They talked to us. We talked to them. So I'm thinking maybe somebody's around. There was nobody around, and I was I was taken back by that so hard. By the time you guys got back, I was like, I need to tell you about this. I need to show you this. It was gone by that point.
It was already gone.
But I swear on my life that I smelled that cigar smoke. I tried to track it down any way I could. There was nothing there. But it ties to those stories. That is it in your head? Did I kind of create that to an extent because I knew the story behind it? Did I really physically smell it? And I tried to figure it out. It's so hard to tell in some of those situations, but I know what I smelled. I know what I know it was there. Yeah. And again, all you have is your word. But it was one hell of an experience. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And my thoughts with that, Derek, like when you talk about, are you fabricating it to yourself?
Right.
The thing that always gets me is, does it usually happen? How do I want to phrase this? Does it usually happen when nothing else is happening for an extended period of time? And then all of a sudden we smell something or we see something move out of the corner of our eyes that we're not going to capture or something. Like, is that the case? I don't know.
I mean, it's a good thought. It really is. But I will tell you, it doesn't usually happen to me. You guys know that. I'm not the one that's like, something's going on over here, and especially because we didn't even start yet. It's not like there was a lull or there was a drag in the investigation and we're trying to pull something from it. It's like I was just sitting there. It was just very strange. It was very surreal. Again, it adds to the lore of it. It adds to those stories. At the end of the day, that's all we got. We can add to it a little bit, but we have nothing to document it. I mean, how do you document a smell unless you're going to see the smoke on a camera or something, which I tried. I had my camera out just in case. There was nothing there. There was nothing to see. I didn't feel anything. How I get with my hearing sometimes with the high pitched sounds. None of that happened. It was just the smell of cigar smoke. So, take it for what it is, right?
Mm-hmm. And the smells are very common with like your residual type hauntings, right? And I know that we've talked about it before, but like, do you get, like, as an individual Derek, do you get those like hearing abnormalities with residual hauntings, or those? Because I don't get that. Like, I don't get my sensation in my spine with residual type hauntings. Typically the chills up my spine that I get are with what we would consider intelligent, right? That we can interact with.
Somebody giving you some kind of like an intentional, just trying to get your attention, really. But no, I've never experienced that with residual. It's always been when something is around, something wants to communicate. So for me, with that hearing thing, with the high pitched noise, no, it does not happen with residual.
Is that the same with you, Aaron, as well?
Yeah. I would agree with what you said. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting concept. Like, what?
Sure, it is.
What are like the things that set off our spidey senses? And I don't think I've really ever thought about it, right? But we are up against the ad break, so we're gonna get into, just a lot more about things that we've experienced during investigations that we haven't captured, but also like kind of what is the psychology behind that, right? I kind of touched on that very shortly a second ago, but definitely something we want to dig into a little bit more. So stick with us after the break, and we will deep dive. We have another picture to show from a location, not as cool, but stick with us, and we'll be back after the ads.
Every ghost story and creature feature lies a far more terrifying truth. The real monsters wear human faces. In the chilling book, All Monsters Are Human, from Derek Smith, 10 Twisted Tales expose the darkest parts of a human soul. From killers hiding in plain sight to obsessions turned deadly. Each story invites you to step into a shadowed world where morality unravels, and the only thing more terrifying than what lurks in the dark is who. These aren't just horror stories. They're reflections of ourselves, showing what happens when fear, rage, guilt, and desire take control. Visit nxmedia.com for more information on All Monsters Are Human from Derek Smith. And you can purchase them at Amazon.com from unxmedia.com. The new book, How to Research a Haunted House by paranormal investigator Margie Kay and professional researcher Violet Wisdom, is now available from Unex Media. This one-of-a-kind book explains how to do research on a house with uncommon methods and resources used by historic home researchers, and how to determine who may be doing the haunting and why. How to research a haunted house can be used by homeowners, renters, investors, and it should be in the library of all professional paranormal investigators. Get this unique book at unxmedia.com or Amazon.com. That's unxmedia.com or Amazon.com. The truth, it's out there, and it's waiting for you. The Unexplained Network is your source for the best in paranormal programming, live video streaming, and audio streaming from hauntings, UFOs, Bigfoot, cryptids, and the ever-expanding realm of the unexplained. Listen live or on demand now on Spreaker, Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeart, and Pockets all over the World Wide Web. The Unexplained Network, where unexplained lives.
Thanks for sticking through those, and welcome back. So we left off in, and this was not intentional, even though it actually kind of works really well. We have one more photo that we wanted to kind of show from a location where we didn't capture something that happened. And the reason I say this is a kind of a good segue into the rest of what we have to talk about. This location was Wildwood Sanitarium, Derek, up in New York.
Yeah, sanatorium, I believe is what they were calling it. But I'm smiling at this picture, seeing all those cables we were running and spools of cables.
I feel like we were such newbies with all of this.
Yeah, but we felt so cool.
I felt really cool when I bought that. And Aaron, those were the dark days. Like, it was awful having to run all of those, and
we learned our lesson.
We had to buy extensions to get the cameras to reach further. Like, we did Madison Seminary with those things, and it was four floors
yeah,
of putting up cameras. And we had when you're walking up and down the steps, you had to be careful you didn't fall and die on the road.
Oh my God.
The Martinsburg Roadhouse, where it stretched like a whole 2 or 3 football fields, that was the one that got me, you know.
It was so bad. And looking back on it,
how much time we spent. Oh
my God.
It just, like, we wasted so much time. But this location here, so for those that are seeing the photo, there's this case that we carry everywhere with us. It's a highly haunted Milwaukee pack out that that my in-laws got for me for Christmas and has become our luggage that we carry around with us everywhere. So this location was an old tuberculosis sanitarium, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, they
Wasn't that
had
what
yeah, they still had stuff in, like, left over from it too, in the basement particularly, where they had the big vats that they would do the ice baths in and things like that.
Oh,
But yeah, it was, and this was one of the first places that we did some of the Facebook walkthroughs, if I remember correctly.
that's right. That's
Um,
right. So we had some evidence here that we had some interactions, but not many.
Not as much as we were expecting.
And I was very upset about it because we paid, and
Well,
this is not a shot at the location at all,
no,
right? I
no.
mean, just this is the way these things work. You're not guaranteed anything. But we drove up to this place in the middle. It's like the southern end of New York in the
It was
center
the
of the state.
snowstorm of the year, man. That
Oh, it
was
was awful. And we were there for probably close to 8 or 9 hours. And the only thing that really happened all night was the lid on this case got slammed shut before we even started investigating.
Yeah,
That was it.
we didn't even get a chance to do our walkthrough or anything. We were literally unpacking, unspooling, and we were halfway up the stairs running some of the cameras. And I think there were what, 4 or 5 of us at this location. And man, it was loud. It was like a gunshot.
Oh, I mean, it's slam shut.
Yeah, it wasn't like a gentle just fall. And
Mhm.
Aaron, you've heard these things when the case is
Oh,
just
yes.
kind of closed.
Yeah.
It was slammed, and man, that we all jumped. We were like, "What was that?" And we went back, and I think we documented the picture of it closed, but that was all we had.
Yeah, but then I
mean,
didn't put it on here to show everybody, so it really
But
didn't happen.
That's kind of the point, right? Like, who knows?
Yeah, it was all in the setup. That's what I was planning on doing. That's absolutely why I did not put it on here.
See, it works out.
Yeah, we have trust us. We have a picture with it shot. Okay, it's really not that exciting.
Yeah, there's not much
Not
to
that
see.
exciting. No, it's really not. It's just
But
that it was-
that's
it was
again,
lit.
that's all we had, and nobody wanted to own up to it. We were thinking we could kind of take it and run with it. Like, who did this? Why'd you do this? Are we not
Yeah.
welcome here? Kind of thing. We got nothing about it. That was like the only thing that happened, and there was no follow up.
Wow.
It's actually funny that you mentioned that, Derek, because sometimes the spirits do own up to doing that.
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, think about Judson. Surprise. Like, they do.
Yeah, it's that, or they'll just say, like, if we ask, like, who did that, like, if with the, I don't know, I don't remember if when we were at the place where the thing was throwing the rocks at us, Fairfield. I don't remember if it said it was me or something like that, or if that was another location.
There was a bunch of get outs with it. I will tell you that, because I started looking back through it after the last episode we were talking about. They never owned up to who it was, but they did not want us there. I'll tell you that. I will tell you, though, that I remember at Wexford Antique Shop, when someone was playing with the flashlights and we heard footsteps, we asked directly, who's doing that? And then the flashlight falls over, and then we heard, it's me. No
It's me,
name.
that's right.
Just me.
That's right.
So, yeah, they do own up to it, but there was nothing at this place.
That's interesting. I feel like we do have, at least, I don't know if you got what you guys think about this, but I feel like in that setup, when we're in the process of getting ourselves situated, doing our walkthroughs, that's when this happens the most. That's when, like, things are engaging with us and we're not ready. Right. And so, like, I don't know if you guys feel this or not, but like when we're walking through, I'm always getting touches or hearing whispers or hearing things around, and like nothing is set up to actually capture any of it. And there have been so many times that that'll happen too. And then we're like, okay, we need to come back to this particular area because we could feel that there was so much activity there. And then we go there and it's like nothing. Not
and I don't know if there's something to it where it is like us being new to the locations and they're picking up our energy and feeding off of it. But you're right. I mean, there's so many times where, for me personally, I know that I'll hear footsteps or I'll see shadows out of the corner of my eye, something along those lines. And you're exactly right. You're like, okay, as we're doing these walkthroughs and we're feeling these things, let's note these spots. We'll come back to them. We'll focus on them. But yeah, there's so many times where it just straight up doesn't happen. There's no follow up again. So maybe that's us just.
it's the touches. I get more touches in the beginning than I do throughout the rest of the investigation. And any other time, if we were in the middle of asking questions or like, if anybody takes the time to listen to our audio, which is a lot, as Derek can attest, like if we feel touches or we feel anything, we'll announce that during. And
we
we'll
try to call it out. You're right.
Like, okay, I'm feeling a touch on the back of my neck. I'm feeling something here. And then we will dive. But whenever we're doing the walkthrough before, it's just like, okay, I felt touches over here at one point, and then I just like kept on going with what I was doing. Like, it just is something that you catalog for later that like, hey, we come back and while I was here, I forgot to tell you 2 hours ago, but something tugged on my shirt. Great. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm glad you said that though, because we have tried to document things that are undocumentable or, like you said, with the touches or the things that we're feeling. Like I know Dan, you with the tingling down your spine, you'll call it out. Or if you feel something brush up against you, you'll call it out. So that's our best way to document things that can't really be. So we do try our best with that. And I will say that we have gotten better with the, walkthroughs. We'll try to do that right away. Just so when we are feeling it, like I know Aaron, even at, when you were back in the back room at the Crush Nail Salon, you were feeling things during the walkthroughs, you were calling them out as you were going. So again, we could reference them and go back to them. But you're absolutely right though. There's so many times where we walk in the door with those big Milwaukee cases, and it's like, we can't really jump right into this right now because we have nothing going. I mean, I don't know. What's your thoughts with that, Dan? I mean, it feels like it's like the place is getting used to us or something, or feeding off of us. I don't know.
Do you ever experience that, Dan? Like as you're walking through, like, are you getting touched and engaged with? Like, you know what I mean? Or like,
well, I do quite a bit.
Yeah.
Well, I do quite a bit. And something that we talked about on the last episode was like that draw that I feel. So I don't feel so much that I get touched, but I just feel like something is urging me into an area. Right. And when we were at Moundsville State Penitentiary, like we were talking about it, where I was walking down the hall and I just felt the urge to go into that one specific room, and then had that thing just get up in my face. Like that's what I feel. Like I feel like not actually shoulders or like hands on my shoulders, but I kind of feel like I'm just being guided into a certain area. And it's always been that way, but that's why it's actually really interesting to have you with us, Aaron, now is like, I can ask you if that's something. Right. And Derek's
with you too.
You do. And Derek's getting there with those kind of things. But like we kind of confirm to each other, and we will not always like just, I don't want to say write it off if like only one of us feels like something's there. But we tend to like kind of, spend our time a little bit more wisely and go where we both feel something. Because then that's, more energy, more potential to have things happen, those kind of things. But that's what I feel like. I have been touched. I have been, had like the hairs on my neck and like get that spider web feeling, which I don't know. I don't pay attention to those too much just because in my mind they are spider webs, right? That I'm
most of the places we go, it's very possible.
Yeah, but I think that I think it's completely reasonable to call them touches because that's what they feel like.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to those as much. What do they call that? Like when you're on something high and you just have the urge to jump off, the call of the void. It's like the call of the void or something like that. Like that's how I feel. Like I feel like something wants me in there. It's getting me to go in towards that area, and I'm just going to follow it. It's stupid.
I think a perfect example of that was the Mars train station. Aaron, you were feeling like a pull to the one room. When we were in the middle section, you were feeling a pull to the other room. Like there was somebody in there that just wanted to be left alone. And then not long after, Dan, you like were hearing the footsteps and you were seeing something in there. And it's like, all right, we combine those two. We're going that way. And it paid dividends in the long run. But I mean, you kind of bounce it off of each other and it ultimately works out.
Yeah. I feel like whenever we do have some of those times too, where one of us is feeling some way versus like, to your point, Dan, like you said, like we don't necessarily write it off. I feel like we almost catalog it and revisit it later. Like I feel like that's happened quite a bit where we've gone in and like at the end of the day or at the end of whatever, whenever we have a moment to break, we'll say, okay, now I know, Dan, you felt this over here. Let's go revisit in there and see if like now's the time, you know? And sometimes it is just timing and for them to get used to us a little bit more.
Mhm.
Or there have also been times where like one of us has walked into a space, the other has as well. One feels something, the other doesn't. And then we go back and it's swapped where like you know, you walk back in and you have felt something before and now you don't, but then I walked in, I didn't feel something before and now I do. And like, it just kind of, we just kind of catalog it back. And you know what, at some point, if we want to go back in, we can try again. If it doesn't work, then we move on to something else.
So how about you guys? Do you have like one of those times where, you know, something happened to you that you were pretty sure you felt something and we just didn't capture anything, but like, what's your moments?
I have a good one. When we were at Caliente Pizza this last time, I was walking around with the psychic that we had there
Sabrina.
with us. Yes. I don't know why I just wanted to call her Selena, and I was like,
Sorry, Sabrina.
Okay, sorry, Sabrina. It's been a
Sorry,
long week.
Sabrina.
It's been a long week. Sorry. Anyway, so we were walking around, and we spent like 45 minutes going around and doing our walkthrough. And as we were going through, we were both feeling things. We were both experiencing things. We thought we'd heard noises, all of these things, and we were all on our recorder. And then when we came back down to like reset the recorder had recorded for like 3 minutes and had stopped.
Yeah,
She had a recorder. I had one. We had our phones going and microphones going. Every single one of them stopped recording. So we had 45 minutes of like really, like, I felt like we had some really, really great substance stuff there. And it just was gone. Just like that. Just didn't exist anymore. It was like, it was frustrating.
Remember that. And I was so bummed because you guys were like, you won't believe what we just did, because you could tell you were vibing with each other, like you were just feeding back and forth off of each other that night. And gosh, that was a bummer, but it's the way it works, right?
But part of that is like, was it the failure of the technology, or was it because whatever was there didn't want to be recorded, right? And so if we had all of the tools that we had failed, like that wasn't by accident. We don't believe in coincidences, right? So like we had all this really, really great stuff, and they just did not want it to be put out into the world. Like,
yeah, and that's not the only time that things like that have happened. I mean, our cameras on occasion have just straight up died after we know for a fact we charged them. They're fully, fully functional, just dead. Or, you'll get a video, but you won't get the audio of it. So there's definitely times that has happened. And you can't necessarily blame the technology, because how many people look at these things? We don't just say, here, trust me, take this. I charged it all night. It's like,
Derek, I totally plugged that in. I didn't forget to do it and then plug it in 15 minutes before I had to leave. I swear to God.
Trust me, I find that out about the Ovilus as soon as you do it. That's why I have it now.
I do that a lot.
But that's what I mean. There's multiple people that see it. Yeah, no, it was all the ghosts.
It's the ghost.
They prevented you from charging it.
Obviously.
No, I charged it, and then they just gobbled it up.
The energy right out.
I can't help it. That's what they need to do things.
But so
I think it's fair.
I have one of our earlier times at Hillview Manor when it wasn't the bachelor party. It was one of the return trips. I will tell you, it was somebody that's coming with us at Fairfield. So there were 3 of us sitting in the chapel area. The recorder was running, and we heard voices coming through the spirit box. My name. There was another name. And then
there was another name.
And then the guy's nickname came through.
That's right. I remember this.
And dude, we all 3 of us had goosebumps. We were like, oh my God, this is incredible. You look down and the recorder's dead. Like, it was running. I saw it running. I set it right here on the pew, and it's completely dead. And I'll just say it. Hi, Coobs. So it said it was clear as day, and it said Coobs. The hell says Coobs? Nobody says Coobs. That doesn't come through anything. But that was his nickname. That's what we called him. That's how he introduced himself. And so when they say our names back like that, and then it's just not recorded, like, I was so bummed about that. I'm like, you guys will not believe what happened in here.
Oh my God.
And it was clear as day. It was incredible that it came through 1, 2, 3 right after another, and just nothing.
And so with all of these kind of things, all of these experiences where we didn't capture anything, was it that it actually happened, or did it not happen? Rather, why didn't we capture it? Right? There's always that psychological component to investigating that I think we all find really fascinating. I want to make sure that we touch on that on this episode, right? I mean, it's because there is, right, any investigation that we do, whether it's investigations that we're actually capturing things that we're seeing or not, right, there's always that psychological component that we have to consider, which is why I think I almost want to capture it more, to kind of prove to myself that it isn't just mental.
Well, yeah,
You
and you
know?
think about it too. How many times do I do the research and I will have a list of names or something,
Mm-hmm.
but I will not
Mm-hmm.
tell you guys until the moment's right, and you do get something, or you're feeding off of something, and it's, let's guide it a little bit. But there's if I give you the names, if I give you certain things that have happened in certain locations, it's just one of those extra psychological things that's on top of your head now, and you're gonna feel for it, you're gonna listen for it. But if you don't know it, that takes that out of the equation altogether.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like I think about like real world applications where things that I've had happen where my adrenaline was just spiked. Like not even talking during an investigation, right? I was driving to work. This was years ago. I was driving to work, and it was this really steep hill that I was going down. It was like 5:30 in the morning, and somebody came down beside me where it was only a one lane road or two lane road, one each way. And this individual, I don't know if they lost their brakes or what happened going down this hill, but they got up next to me and they bumped into the side of my car with their car and pushed me to the side, and then continued past me down through a stop sign. So I saw their license plate, but my adrenaline was pumping so hard after having this person like play bumper cars with my vehicle that I don't remember anything of what I saw on that license plate. And when I called the police, they asked me, did you get it? Did you get the license plate? And I said, yes, I did. Well, what was it? I don't remember. Right. Because my
Right?
like, honest to God,
Oh yeah.
like I
Yeah.
remember there being a circle on it because it was some sort of, it was like one of those license plates you buy that wasn't like the standard issue one, right? It's like for a donation or something like that. But I could not remember what the letters were, even though there were 6 letters. I could not remember what they were because my brain just stopped working. And
Mhm.
like, how much of that kind of stuff does that play into these things, right?
Oh, you can
Because
definitely apply it to these things. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah, and again, like what I asked about before, like how much does our mind force things that we want to see too, right? I'm not saying that it happens,
No,
right? But I'm
but
not saying it doesn't either,
you think
right?
of the pareidolia aspect of it.
There you
Our
go. Yeah.
minds want to see things.
Hmm.
And when we're thinking about something, maybe we want to hear things too. So it's so hard to decipher those, especially in the moment.
Hmm.
There's a whole other aspect of doing the review and listening back to things and getting verification on things. But in the moment, when you're feeling things, when you're seeing things that are just straight up unexplainable, it's so hard to decipher that. It really is, which is
It is.
why we call things out the way that we do, where it's like, I feel this, I didn't see it, but I felt it, so let's document it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, that can happen so easily.
And I think it all spurs from the kind of like the perception that people have, including ourselves, back to before we started doing this, the perception of what we see on TV, the perception of what we see on YouTube. They are designed to be action all the time,
Mhm.
right?
Sure.
Because if you don't have things happening, things going bump, things making noises, whatever it is, if you don't have that, people tune out, right? They turn
Right.
to the next channel.
Well, how many
So
times too have we been to a location that has had a TV show there for what, a 45-hour
mhm,
episode, and they
mhm,
tell us they've been there for a week or 2 weeks. So
yeah.
it's not that they're not, like, they're experiencing these things, sure, but they're there for so long, and you're getting what, 5% of what it is, less than that probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, it's there's just a misconception there.
Yeah, and again, the less I care about capturing things, the more I am personally starting to get out of investigations again, right? When we before we got so caught up, and at least for me, before I got so caught up in like capturing things, I used to get a ton out of investigations. I'd almost have like, religious experiences, so to speak, on an investigation where I make this connection with the other side. And I feel like, I had some sort of very powerful connection with something that I got as much out of it as hopefully they did, kind of thing. Right. And then I kind of lost that whenever I was doing what I was telling you not to do, Derek, which was like stare at the screen,
Stare at the camera,
at the
right?
device, want to get the device, right? And now that I'm back to where I used to be and just kind of tuning out that technology and letting it tell us when it's ready, kind of thing, I'm back to having that same gratification, so to speak, out of these investigations. And I think that's great. Personally, like that's what I look for, right?
It makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, especially the way that we've been going with some more like trying to physically help people, doing the residences, doing the lesser known locations, just to get verification. And all of a sudden you make these connections that have never been documented before, or you will make a connection between these individuals and a family member that's passed away. That is so much more powerful than any piece of evidence that you could ever get, are those connections. And you're right. I mean, you were right so long ago when you said stop paying so much attention to that, which is part of the reason we started investing in, getting the trail cameras and just setting them up there. Even our handheld cameras. How many times do we now take it? Well, sure, we'll walk into a room, but we'll set it down. That's it. We don't pay attention to it. Just let it record. And I think that works so much better because then we're focused on what we're doing rather than the technology itself.
But that's so hard though. It's like when you have to go buy a souvenir of like a shot glass of the time that you went to New York, to show people that you were in New York, right?
Right.
It's kind of that same concept. Like you want so badly to have proof that you did something and that something was there. But that's okay. That doesn't exist all the time, right?
And I think we've got to that point. We've got to that point where it is okay. I mean, it might suck, the best thing that have ever happened. Maybe we didn't catch it. And at the time it's like, why, but when we're able to kind of put pieces together with that information, or we're just able to take those experiences and either learn from them, grow from them, whatever, that's worth the whole experience in my mind.
Yeah.
I think there's something to be said for going into an investigation with the mindset that, like, while we are collecting evidence and experiencing what we're experiencing, ultimately an investigation is a collaborative event between us and whatever's there. And we are not able to capture anything unless they're willing to allow us to capture it.
Absolutely.
So, like, even if it is something incredible that we're not able to capture, it's because they didn't want us to capture that thing. If they wanted it to be captured, they would have done it in front of a trail cam, or they would have done it in the room that we are in. You know what I mean? Like, they would have done it so that it could be witnessed versus, like, I don't know. I just think that there's something in that, the humanity that is attached to that, like having this collaborative event with something from the other side and like communicating in that way.
It's that interaction, even if it's not communication, but the interaction, like you guys feeling it or sensing it, that alone is the point of it.
I think it's kind of cool to think about,
Yeah.
I love that. I don't want to say anything because I couldn't put it any more perfectly than what you
said
just said, Aaron. But unfortunately, we are out of time, guys. Thank you very much once again. Always a pleasure to get with you, and thank you everybody for listening. No footage, no proof, no perfect recording. It's all okay, right? Have fun with it. Enjoy the investigation. I can't speak any better than Aaron just did. Be in the moment. Get as much out of it as what they give to you. Until next time, keep your cameras ready and cross carefully to the other side. Everybody, toodles and noodles.
Bye, guys.
Have a wonderful night. Take care, guys.
See ya.
Bye.